So how long will this be, just so you know?
I have to hard stop at 10:45.
Perfect. Okay.
Wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
Hi.
Okay, so it's setting up your meeting for Facebook. So eventually it'll just like move forward. Okay.
Great.
So all right, thank you so much for being here. It's been actually a hot minute since I've gone live on Facebook for the Here For It Live, because we just did the Here For It Summit on Saturday, which was amazing, incredible, and I still can't really believe that we were able to pull off a safe, compliant, fun, inspiring event during a pandemic.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. So go ahead and tell everybody who you are, and I would love to kind of tell the story how we met.
Yeah.
So you go first.
Okay, so my name is Kelsey Banfield, and I'm originally from Cooperstown, New York. My parents still live there. My father grew up in Schenectady, and my grandparents lived in Saratoga. So I have a lot of ties to the area. I currently live in Connecticut with my husband and 2 children, and I'm in upstate New York a lot. And that's how, well, you can tell us how we met. But I own the manifesting company, and I had a few years ago a transition from my career as a food blogger and food writer into coaching, because a lot of people were asking me how I built my brand, how I'd done all these things, how to accomplish. I really had just grown a business out of nothing. And I started teaching them how I did it. And then it really led into a more formal coaching career. And I love it. And I call it the manifesting company because I use the literal interpretation, which manifest is to make real. So, I find that so many people I encounter and all my clients I work with come to me and they say, I have this vision and I want to make it real. Or they're in a business that they've started, or they're at a level in their lives when they have a vision for their next level that they want to make real. Everyone has this vision in their mind's eye. And so let's make it happen. And over time, I've really developed a whole curriculum on getting to that next level with practical solutions. So I call it practical manifestation. Like I don't advise, crystals and like, there's a lot of woo magical thinking. Like I don't think positive and it will appear is not my jam. So, but I do believe in that.
That's actually like why we get along and connect so well, because I do surround myself with people like that. I mean, Marcella, I don't think you've ever met her yet, but she's into the crystals and she's into the crossing your energy and energy work and all that stuff. And it's like, it's great and it's good. And it certainly benefits me just to be around somebody that's actively doing all those things. Mm-hmm. But I'm like an action person. It's like, no, I need to write this down on a list and then do that thing and check it off the box, cross it out and like on to the next thing. And so, it's like making this a tangible, practical, reasonable, like this isn't just like a vision anymore. And for me, palette is not a vision anymore. I've executed everything.
You manifested it. You made it real.
Yeah, I mean, call it what you want, but I've been working my ass off to put all this shit together and make it happen. Yes. And I've done all those things. And, one of the things that I kind of, I'm challenged with right now is like the resilience to keep going, and I think that that's like a huge part of people who are just owners of a small business or owners of a company or whatever, what have you. It's like when you're planning it and when you're envisioning it and you're putting all, you're making the vision board and you're writing up the business plan, and it doesn't actually exist yet, right? So it's like very easy to be the dreamer, and and I have no doubt that it's all going to work out. Like I am very much like a figure it out or die kind of person. So like I have none of that like is a deterrent, like I do have like this fearlessness where like, the worst that's gonna happen is I'm gonna have to sell my house, and go I do have that piece of it, but it's not enough. You have to be able to stay in the game and keep going, and there will be setbacks, there will be challenges. And so what is it that you do to like continue?
Yeah, exactly. No, that's it. And that's why I call it practical manifestation for dreamers and doers. That's what I say. When you're the dreamer and the doer, then you can take the steps to get there. What you're talking about are the tests. 2020 has been like a massive test for all of us. But what the tests do is they force us to draw our boundaries about what we won't and will accept in our lives, and stand in our own self-worth, and develop that deeper edge, that deeper sense of resiliency. And we have just had that on a global level. So you can see a lot of people being tested, the first they've had kind of an easy life or things have gone swimmingly. So the first test is very, very unnerving. But the point of it is to make you stronger. And it's hard to say. I mean, I understand the climate out there. It's not just like, oh, well, I'll just bounce back. I mean, this has been devastating for many people. But the test, the perseverance is what on the other side of this comes the reward, and you do have to read the signs. So this pandemic came, we all had to pivot our businesses online, we had to do lots of different things. If you kind of met change with change and you continue to make change with change, it will work out for you. Maybe not like at the original vision, but it will work out. And often it works out better than you expected.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I've experienced that, so it's, I know that that's certainly true. But the other thing is like, it's a never ending test, right?
yes.
It's 2020. And I think, again, what I'm being challenged with, it's like the hits just keep coming. And it's like, when is this going to stop? Well, you know what? It's not going to stop. There's always going to be a challenge. There's always going to be something. There's always going to be pushback. There's always going to be, like some sort of push, right?
People at every level are people like multimillionaires, CEOs, executives of huge companies. It doesn't matter what size your business is. It doesn't matter who you are. But if you have a vision that you're working toward, you're going to get tests at every turn. And it's just forcing you to stay strong, to stay in your self-worth. And the test, like once you pass the test, it gets easier. Once you pass the test, say, when I was starting off my coaching business, I could tell a client wasn't right for me and I would take them on anyway. And I hated the experience. Well, that was the test. I failed that test because I should have known. And then the next time a person like that came along, I was able to say, I'm sorry, I don't think we're a good match. Guess what? I stopped attracting those kind of people because I passed those tests. I started to read the signs and trust myself that if I didn't work with that client, everything was going to be fine. It just made room for something new to come in.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I also think, for me, from my personal experience, I don't really thrive when things are easy and there's like this flow, like when people talk about like, just lean into the ease. It's like, no, that's like, that's the opposite of what I do on a regular basis. I like, I like to debate. I like to, I like to challenge people, but in doing so, I challenge myself. And I love that. I love that challenge. I love the chase. I don't know if that's just, I mean, I think that's part of my makeup.
And which is great because that means you're in alignment with who you are. If you're doing something like that and your energy's up and at the end of the day, you're satisfied, you had a great day, you feel good, then that's in alignment with you and go for it. To each their own. But when someone's saying lean into the ease, I also am like very much a doer, like a Virgo type A. Let's make it happen. Let's do this thing. So when someone is like, no, you gotta slow down. And I'm like, and I've had to learn, I'm like, I appreciate your advice. Thank you so much. But that's not me. Yes, of course you do. Everyone needs balance to some extent. I would never tell you like, just go and bring yourself out. But knowing who you are and what makes you thrive and happy and satisfied, like living a good day each day.
Yeah. And I know I get to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm about done,
Good.
And I'm very, I don't know if this is a Virgo thing or it's like a, my personality or whatever, but I'm extremist, right? So it's like I'm either going at all cylinders or I need a deprivation tank. And I need to be completely cut off from all senses and I need a deep sleep. And I'm realizing like just in this week, I've said deprivation tank like several times over like last, couple of weeks. And I'm like, maybe that just needs to be part of my routine. Like I go and I float in darkness and have a good sleep for 2 hours a week or something like that.
100%. I've been in that position in my life too. And I know what grounds me. I love like the softer things. I love like homemaking. I love cooking and I love gardening. Like those are things that ground me. So I just incorporate them into my life every day to the best of my ability. I don't make it like a spa day. I just do a little bit of it every day, or I just recognize that part. Once you recognize that part of yourself that you can make room to incorporate it as it works for you.
Yeah. The other day I like I stopped everything and I went and took my daughter to school, and it filled me up just to be walking out and like phone away. I went and brought her to school. It seems like such a simple task, but I came back like a totally different person, So I think like, I don't know, starting now, I'm going to start bringing that child to school every day
Yeah,
and pick her
yes,
up, and like,
yes.
it gives me a time, because that's the other thing that, I mean, again, I'm making this so much about myself right now, but I don't have a commute. I like live basically at Pallet, so there's no
Okay.
decompress or commute, traveling, anything. So it's like that walk to school. I mean, it's huge. So
That
I
makes a
feel
lot
like
of
I'm
sense for
totally
you.
commandeering this whole conversation and making
Good.
it about me, but I can't be the only person that's like being a little burnt out right now. So
I love it. This is what I do. This is how I spend my time. And like we talk when I'm with clients, I'm a big fan of meditation, but for some people they're like, "Oh, meditating so hard." I'm like, "Well, here, try this." I have taped, and so I have my whole company's on an app, see, manifesting.
oh yeah,
So
yeah, you tell me about this.
yeah, it's cool, right? But you can
Yeah.
see, it's hard to see in here, but I have meditations that are about to be put up that I've been taping in a studio with a producer,
Well,
because I
fun.
was like, I understand that, people like, I can't slow down, sitting down is so hard. It's like, well, then let's do walking meditations, because let's, again, be honest, a lot of us walk for health and for fun, or walk your children to school or that sort of thing. I walk my dog a lot. So what I did was I started taping meditations like a walking beat, so I'm like, this counts. All of these things count, because
Yeah.
if that's what works for you, that's great. But I do a lot of that work. It's like finding what works for you. Some people, I have clients who love to journal. I have clients who hate to journal. It doesn't matter.
That's awesome
I
that you
am
can.
not down with the complicated
Yeah.
self-development stuff. Keep it easy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
keep it
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, no, and I love that you can, I mean, it's part of what makes you so valuable to your clients, is that you can adapt and mold
Mhm.
your services to them. So tell us more about this app, and then also you did this program which launched on the 11th, but it's like a free thing that anyone
Yes.
can use. Okay.
My curriculum is practical manifestation. I have a full course. It's one, but it's not a course you take it and self-guide and good luck. Like, I walk you through every step of the way. It's very simple but targeted, and it's the framework, the principles manifestation. That's why it can be applied to anybody. It's not about how to manifest X, Y, or Z, like a certain thing. And then within that, I incorporate this self kind of I call it the mindset gym. It's kind of your routines for your mindset. Again, like, we all have to exercise to stay healthy, right? That's a general thing we all acknowledge. But we all might like different kinds of exercises. Someone's a dancer, someone's a walker, it doesn't matter. So that's why the mindset gym is, pick what works for you to keep your
Mhm.
mindset strong. So those are like the two main components. And then we go into looking at what your visions and goals are, the action steps, coaching people on the way to get, where they want to go. And often it really is, I call it transformative conversations that lead to dynamic growth. A lot of people, I come to you with no judgment. I'm here to talk anytime with my clients. And sometimes we will just brainstorm. Sometimes it's just, they need some support, like making a tough decision, following their gut instinct when they know they have to turn down something that is great on paper, but it's not right. That's a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
So those are the sort of things we do together. And it's all on my app, which now, so because I wanted to take my business off of they were on a lot of different social media platforms, and I was like, let's make it on the app so that it's mine. So my other thing is my email list, and anyone's welcome to sign up for it. I don't do like lots of crazy spammy things. I just do once a week newsletter. And on the 11th of November, I started the 11/11 Begin Again program, which is 10 weeks long, and it's free. And every week I'm sending out an exercise for that week. And the intention is the first 5 weeks, we're wrapping up 2020 and finally giving this year closure,
Yeah.
which we all are ready to, like, don't let the door hit you on the way out, 2020, right? So, but you do need to give a year closure. And then the next 5 weeks are starting off 2021 with a deep breath and a fresh perspective, because even though we all know the tone of the world at the moment, it is healthy to give a year closure and start a new year kind of ready to go. Instead of, I always hated that feeling getting into the first year, and then by February I kind of got my act together. Well, then a whole month has gone by.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no,
let's
I love the head start head start.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, I also did like a program, or I didn't do it actually. Like I think I bought the journal with the intention of like this 90-day thing.
Oh
But
yeah.
90 days is such a long time.
It
I'm
is
like,
a long time.
I'm like, I need something a little more like to dip my toes in. So
A little more digestible. Yeah. And these are small exercises. Like I just sent out, the one went out today, and we're in the second week now. In today's, the exercise for this week is all about editing your spaces, editing your workspace, editing your home space. And this takes time. It's not something you just do one and done, but like go through your desk, change out the picture frame pictures, clean out the old pens, send them to recycling, change batteries if you need to, and clocks. When I do this once a year, I'm like, my desk looks great. And then actually, it was full of old papers and things I need to deal with. And it's just, when you edit your spaces, you give the energy room to move.
oh my God, I love that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Fun things. Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's not meant to be like some intensive, like everyone's in tears, like just it's intensive, common sense ways to close out the year. So by the end of the month, you have some clean, refreshed spaces. Some people go all in and clean their closets. Some people don't get that far. That's fine.
Yeah. No, and I mean, when you say tangible, you mean it. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
This is like, and practical.
Yes.
Because, there are other programs out there, and it's like, I think journaling is great, right? But like, I always go, lately I've gone to the journal, and it is like a prompt, like write down what went well today, or write down what didn't go well today, or write what you're going to work on tomorrow. And it's like, even when when you are like at your lowest low, you can't even come up with like what went well. You know what I mean? You're like,
what I caution with those things too is that, and I remember when I've done all this work on myself too, and I've done a lot, and like to your point, I've done a lot of these things. And what I found is that sometimes I would find those things almost being counterproductive because I was placating myself, being like, well, just gratitude, practice this out. When in fact I had a bad day and had some stuff I had to deal with. Don't gratitude your way out of a rut. Don't try and be like, I'm where I'm meant to be on my journey. Yes, but at the same time, like if you're really at your lowest low, to be like, here are 5 things I'm grateful for, it's not going to make a difference.
Yeah. And at that moment, and again, this is because I've done a lot of this, like, deep inner work on that. And therapy, really, it comes down to fucking therapy, right? It's like, at that moment, I don't need to be like telling myself that I'm doing the best that I can, because I'm not doing the best I can. I feel like shit, And it's like, at that moment, I need a real kick in the ass. I need to be told, like, well,
I always say,
pull yourself together and get on with it,
Well, and I say, if someone says to me, I'm like, okay, what? Let's pinpoint why you feel that way. And then usually there's always something like, oh, I was rejected by a potential client today, or the funding didn't come through, or something. But that's legit. Feel those feelings, understand why they're there, and let them flow. It's okay if you've had a bad day and maybe you just really need some sleep. I'm like, then, put down the phone and close the computer and take 24 hours. Rest is also, like, I read some great thing, like rest is also a form of rebellion, because when you are resting, you're refueling yourself. Like, and that's great.
Yeah. And acknowledging like that the rest that I am getting is not really working, because I'm being, woken up in the middle of the night by babies and children coming crawling in my bed. And so it's just, it's one of those things where I hate this whole, I mean, I even posted about this last night about like the burnout, like, and how if you're not running all out and to exhaustion, you're not doing enough. And that's such bullshit. That
is such a crock. That is a line women especially have been fed.
Women. Yeah. And then that is the like foundation of like feeling guilty and like, oh, I'm at work because, well, or like I'm not with my kids because I'm at work, or like, if I'm not at work, I'm going to be with my kids, damn it. And it's like, what, screw that. No, I want to be with myself. I need a break from everyone and all the things. And I want to be left alone. And that's fine. It's okay to say, it's not selfish, and there should be no guilt attached to it. It's like, no. I need everybody to like, just go away.
I completely agree. Time to ourselves. is highly undervalued, and it's a big recharge time. And I always again say, never underestimate how important that is, and never feel guilty about taking it, because when you are thriving, Catherine, when you're well rested, when you've had some good meals, even if you had a like tricky day at work, but things are going and you're at palate and everyone's feeling good, then you're thriving, you're feeling good. And guess what? Everyone around you will thrive.
Yeah.
No, but it's not fair. And this is a narrative that society has programmed into us, that mom is like crippled under the pressure of being a working mom. And we're doing everything to hold everyone else up, our businesses, our lives, or this and that. And, you know, adrenal fatigue is setting in. And therefore, like, we're like, go you. I'm like, no, don't cheer that. Like, come here, you. Like,
yeah,
you know, it's okay to say you want to feel better. And, you know, honestly, when you kind of are able to turn the mindset around, rearrange maybe the life a little bit, maybe make some key changes, and so you get more sleep and you start feeling better, you may work less and be more productive, and everything goes better than ever.
yeah.
I
I mean,
all the time.
I am so like with you, and you know, talking it out is so important, and talking it out with like the people who are like experts in their freaking, like they know what they're talking about. Like you're like, you know, you're saying like all the right things, and it's like holding a mirror up to me, and it's like, you know, this is not all so bad. You know, I just need to like set some boundaries.
Yeah.
And not burn myself out. It's just so stupid. And I guess the other thing too is, and I'm not going to do it anymore, is like beating myself up for feeling this way, you know, again.
Exactly. Do not.
Like, well, no. I just haven't gotten it in my head yet that like I need to do these things. So
yeah.
I love you. Thank you. I feel like I just like, I mean, it's like, it's almost better than therapy, because I don't have like the shame of, and you shouldn't feel shame going to therapy, because I mean, it works.
No, oh no, never. I'm a huge believer in therapy. No. But that's why, like, I said this to a lot of people, like, I liken coaching to like kind of personal training. You know, if you decide you want to run a marathon, you're like, I can do 5 miles, or like, I'm feeling good about this, but now I want to go for the whole hog. You go for a personal trainer, and they give you a plan. They teach you the principles of athletics and fueling your body with healthy foods. And you go through and you find what works for you. And then you do the training, and then you get there. And all of a sudden you're like, wait, I can run 10, 15, 20, you know, you get to the running the marathon. It takes time, but it's practical steps to get there. You don't sit down and meditate on it.
No,
you know, but you do like do some physical work too. So that's why, you know, I tell people like therapy is extremely important, and I'm a huge believer in it. But that's what we just have as a perfect illustration. Coaching is transformative conversations that lead to growth. They kind of, it takes you forward. It's meant to move you forward out of where you are now into a new level.
Yeah, I love it. I'm such a proponent of all the things, of all the coaches. I mean, I am a lifelong learner. There's never going to be a level in my life where I'm not going to need somebody to hold me accountable, and someone to say, you know, atta girl, or like, you need to kick it into high gear here now. You gotta like, just, there's always somebody there, like, you know, helping you out. And then just, I love it. I love the help.
Oh, good. Anytime. I love chatting.
All right. Well, tell everybody where to, you know, you're on Instagram, and you are, is it just the manifestingco.com?
The Manifesting Co is the Instagram handle at the Manifesting Co, and it's the manifestingcompany.com. And if you just like, there's a turquoise bar there. If you just sign up for the newsletter, you just get signed up right away, and you get one quick reply. I don't do like massive drip campaigns or anything like that. So, and then the newsletter comes out every Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah. And
then, well, thank you so much for spending time with me. I love catching up with you. Keep me posted.
All right,
and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, perfect. Thank you guys. Have a good day.